place. Good girl, sit. Good girl. Good boy, Jack. This up here. Okay. Leash on your buddy. So, when I'm working on stay, but especially more advanced stays with distractions, which is what we're working on or I'm going to show you today, it's important you always have a leash on the dog because you need to be able to put him back very quickly into the original position you have him in. And when I say very quickly, I mean within a half a second. If you don't apply a reward or a correction to a dog within a half a second, they usually don't understand what the reward or correction is for. So, always put on a leash until he is really, really, really good at bed and stay and stationary positions and impulse control situations. Because the leash allows us to communicate with them and control situations. Without communication and control, in certain situations, he's not going to make the right connections. Do you want to show your parents where you're at now? Jack, good boy. Bed. Hold on. Oh, that's very good. Down, but I want you in the bed. Come here. Bed. I kind of moved it so he's all confused now. Good. Good boy. Sit. There's a good boy. Good bed. Okay, let's try that again. So we used up the treats you sent with them very quickly. We're now on some of my treats. He wasn't a huge fan of those ones, so something maybe a little meatier, a little jerkier, I think he'd like better. Good bed. Good. Yes. Oops, uh-oh, that treat went under the chair. Hold on. Uh-oh. Get it? First, no. Place. Good girl, sit. Okay, Jack, let's try this again. Bed. So he's a little confused, so I use the leash to help him. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Good bed. He doesn't like corners for some reason. So whenever I have the bed in a corner or up against a wall, he doesn't want to go towards the wall. But if I lead him in, yes, I'll show you this way. Really? Oh, buddy. There. Jack. Good boy. Jack. Bed. Good. Sit. Good bed. So if you lead him in lengthwise, he'll go, but I don't know what it is about corners in him. Good. Yes. That's a good boy. Good boy. Sit. Good. Jack. Down. Yes, good boy. So you can see now I'm not having a point. He's still relying on the bending motion, but it's one step closer to the word. So now what I'm going to try and do is make the bending motion smaller and smaller and make sure that I say the word before I start to bend, and he should pick up on that before the bend. Jack, can you face camera, buddy? Sit. Good boy. Down. Yes, good boy! Like that. So that was only a half a bend. So while we're working on getting that on the word, we're also working on maintaining those positions. So, Jack, you bed. Good. Sit. Good bed. Good bed. Stay. I'm just going to pull the leash out. Stay. Hershey, come. Good. Sit. Good girl, Hershey. Hershey, heel. Yes. Good boy, Jack. Good boy. So you can see now he's able to demonstrate a little bit of impulse control with other dogs working and treats being dropped. And I don't need to be holding the leash anymore, which is a big improvement. Hershey, place. Good girl. Candace, come. Jack, no. Still makes some mistakes. Bed. Sit. Stay. So last video I was still rewarding him for getting on the bed. Now he knows bed and sit and stay well enough that I'm not going to reward him when he breaks. Okay? Unless he starts to get super frustrated acting. Good girl, Candace. Candace, sit. Good. Candace, down. Good. Sit. you go. Hip. Nope, Jack, sit. So that was a common mistake because I patted my hip, but I was talking to her, so he should stay. So I'm going to make it a little more clear. I'm going to step away from him. Cam's hip. Yes. Good girl. Again, I just need to tell him no as soon as possible. So I'm trying to capture the exact second that he stands up off that bed, and that's when I'm saying no. That way he's correlating the instant that he's getting up is the instant he's making the mistake. Good girl. Camus. Can you go place? No, place. Good. Sit. Good. And I'm going to keep him there until he's more stable and not making a bunch of breaks. Good boy, Jack. Good boy. But I do still need to give him feedback and tell him he's doing good. Or he'll start to bark and demand to be let off. Actually, he's not done that to me, but I assume he would do that to you. Good boy. Stay. Nani, come. Good. So it looks like I'm working my dogs, but I'm really keeping Jack in my peripheral vision to see if he's messing up or going to mess up. Nani, heel. Good girl. Middle. Good. Nani. Good. No. Sit. Jack, no. So there, he actually ignored the sit command. He heard it. He looked right at me. Stay. So I know he's starting to get really frustrated, so I'm going to start making it a little more simple and reward him a little bit more. Not heel. No. Yes. Good boy, Jack. Good boy. Good. Stay. Stay. Heel. Good. Middle. Good. Not down. Sit. Down. Sit. Sit. Yes. And Jack has to learn that I'm talking to my dogs because I'm saying their name before the command. I'm also not making any eye contact with him and trying to face the dog that I'm working with. Jack. Yes. Yes. Come on, buddy. Good boy. And that hesitation's pretty common when you really start to work on stay because he's like, is this a test? I don't know. We've been working on stay forever. But he does know that yes means he can move. And he'll get a little smoother in that. Nani, place. No, Jack. Nani, place. Place. Okay, good. Cool. Poor lady. Good girl. Sit. This dog's 12. So, Jack. Bed. Good. Good bed. Good bed. Stay. And he can turn around to follow me because I want him to actually watch me. Nope, but he can't get up like that. Nope. Bed. Sit. Stay. Good boy. Stay. Good. Stay. Camus, come. Yes. Good, Jack. Jack, yes. Good boy. So there I didn't want to leave him for a long period of time because we just did a pretty long one. And again, I don't want him to hate the bed command and hate going on it. But you can see he's doing much better with his impulse control. We're still working a bit on leash manners outside and paying attention, but he is coming along. And let's see. Oh, and he's learning quiet too. He's definitely learning quiet. That's coming along nice. Oh, buddy. Sit. Jack, sit. Good boy. That was my mistake. I didn't say his name. Jack, down. Yes, good boy, good boy. So here, yes does not always mean he's going to get a treat, right? It means he's getting a reward and he's released. The reward varies on the situation. So now that he's a little further along, I'm not treating him for every single sit and down because he really knows those pretty well. I'm treating like, I don't know, 70 to 80% of those repetitions. It's going to be less and less. We gradually will start to reduce the amount of treats and make it a more random number. So it's not always going to be one treat. It might actually be 5 treats in a row, and then I might not treat him at all for 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll be treating him every repetition. It just varies at this stage, and that's how we're going to gradually get him to not expect to always get the same thing. That's weird. bump.